So I spent 5 years in the UK, and I was fortunate enough to win races in all the categories I raced in. I had pole positions, I've had fastest laps, and I finished in the top four for all those championships that I had a chance to race in as well. So I did British Formula Ford for the Swift factory team in '94. I was the highest finisher in the team that year, finishing fourth. I then went to Europe and drove in the German European Formula Renault Championship for Swift. They gave me a car to run. Renault helped out with engines, and we also had contacts to a team that allowed us for a small budget to compete in Europe that year. And then Van Diemen were trying to poach me as a driver, and managed to get me into a Van Diemen for 1996. They gave us a car to run in the British Championship. I know with one of my best friends, we sat down once and we looked at the drivers who have had the opportunity to go further than what I have. And in the history of Australia, at the time, there was about 12 drivers who had gone on further than what I had, like Larry Perkins and Tim Schenken and obviously Alan Jones and other people that I had a chance to test a Formula One car, for example. There was very few drivers that have really gone past where I had. So, you know, not many people have driven for their country. Not many people have been an ambassador for the Australian Grand Prix. Not many people have had the opportunity to spend 5 years overseas and race for all the different categories to have a chance to have a motorsport career. I was voted in Australia's top 100 drivers of all time. In 1996, I was finished second in the World Renault Finals in Magny-Cours in France. And what Formula Renault did overseas was they got all the different countries to come together for one weekend to see who was the best driver in Formula Renault. And so, you know, that opened a lot of people's eyes because we were running a Van Diemen at the time, and Van Diemen just weren't competitive enough compared to the Europeans with the Tatuus and a couple other manufacturers that were around at the time. And so for us to be competitive opened a lot of eyes. And when you look at, I guess, I mean, we can obviously talk for hours, and I can talk about lots of different avenues and career paths and opportunities that I had while I was overseas. Like Van Diemen was trying to poach me in Formula Ford, and then I got offered a free drive in the US. And but I guess, you know, one of the highlights of being over there really was having the opportunity to possibly live the dream. And, you know, one of my favorite days over there was when I had a chance to drive my first Formula 3000 car. And we did that at Donington, and I did 12 laps for a team called Redmond and Bright. And within those 12 laps, I was as quick as their main driver. And one of the leading teams back then, which was called Nordic, then approached me to have some discussions on driving with them. And, you know, little things like that, that's in the memory bank. I'll never forget my last win in the UK, which was at Silverstone in the rain in Formula Palmer Audi. And I had the marketing guy from McLaren phone me. It was the very first phone call I got after the race to say, congratulations, we'll have a chat in more detail next week about what we can do to make things more serious and more of a reality of for you to, you know, live your dream to make it to Formula One. You know what? Not many people get a phone call from McLaren. Not many people get a phone call from one of the leading Formula 3000 teams to want to have a chat to you about driving with them. And so even though I might not have had a chance to fulfill that dream and become the next Australian since David Brabham to drive in Formula One, I've been very fortunate and very lucky to have a lot of support from family, friends, sponsors, investors to get to where I got to.